Um, yeah, so let's go ahead and go from here. So let's get started real quick. So I think it's been about 5 minutes in. We've done the. Let me just double check those who I didn't get here. So is there Elijah here, a Madison, a Miguel Esperera, and Abraham Funes, a Justin McNutley, Brian Salazar Perez, Alex Salazar, or Angel Vargas here? Okay, so, and is there anyone whose name I didn't call and mark off, or didn't call? I guess you won't see if I marked it off or not. Okay, so someone, okay, perfect. I will get you, I got an email from someone, I'll get you added into the system today, okay? Um, I just need to send a ticket over to IT. All right, so let's explain how this class is going to go. For the person who emailed me, you know who you are. I will send you some files, but let's go ahead and start showing how the class will go. We actually won't do any math today, just because I need you. You need a day to get prepared for everything, since this is all remote. So let's go ahead and share my screen. Let's go ahead and share desktop too. Now I can put stuff on and off it. All right. So here we go. So can you guys see the my my browser, I guess. Let me open up my chat so I can see it. All right, chat. Thank you. Yep. Okay, good. All right, so here you can see the browser. So you're not going to have as many classes as I do, but you should see something that looks vaguely like this. It says Math 127, Summer 10. This is where we're going to do everything and submit everything. So we'll go ahead and get that here. So, so you click on it. It should bring up something that looks like this page, right? Actually, your student view. Yours will look more a lot like this. Okay, so you'll see something that looks like this. And so what we're going to be doing is, let's just start at the top. Leave student view, that's fine. So you'll see that. I'll see a little bit more when you look at mine. So everything, there's going to be a little welcome module. Here's some first steps. So the first thing you need to do, these GIFs may or may not work on yours. Download, print. You just need to have the syllabus somewhere just so you know what's going on. Purchase required materials. This is a free class to you guys, as far as I understand. It's paid by a grant through the engineering department to get you guys into calculus, so you don't have to, waste a year of your life going through pre-calc. I cram here material into 5 weeks, but I do it in a way that we cut a lot of the fat, because like stuff about matrices you don't really need for calculus. How to graph polar trigonometric functions you don't really need for calculus. And so I cut a lot of stuff out, but we still go at a good clip. Anyways, and so we're not requiring any tests, since the idea of keeping it free. The text I will be pulling stuff from is from the one we use here on at UNLV. It's Pre-Calculus 6th edition by Cengage. You'll need an ACE account or some sort of ACE or NSHE account to access this page, because that's where you're going to turn in everything. You need a printer or scanner, a way of or a way of taking notes on a PDF. Either way works. I've had students do both. Since we don't have a text, I do need you guys to put notes. Let me show you the notes real quick. let me explain it. It's easier shown than explained. So since we don't have a textbook, I've made notes for you guys. And so it actually has the functions, and then we actually do examples, and we'll be doing this live in class, ways to represent a function. So anything that would be from the textbook, I do this, and then we'll work through this manually. The way we'll work through this, let me move my keyboard. I own a drawing pad, and so it makes it real easy for me. I spill stuff. It makes it real easy for me to open up Photoshop. I use Photoshop. I probably could use something different, but and so when I'll be teaching, this will be our first day of notes. We'll do this starting tomorrow, and we'll just list some functions, and then I will just go ahead and just write here whatever we're writing, probably in a lot smaller And then here I'll fill out the notes this way, and then I'll upload it for you guys. So you're gonna have to turn in these notes to me somehow. How you want to do it, that's fine, just as long as it's a PDF. Every week. So every week you're gonna turn in these notes. So you have two options. Let's go back to those options. Hi. Thank you. So you'll have two options. One, you can, what most students tend to do is they'll have a printer. They'll just print them out and they'll just print them out, and then you can just, as long as you're on a smartphone, let me go back to first steps. As long as you own a smartphone, um, there's an app called Adobe Scan, and it makes really nice scans of the notes, and it just makes them to a PDF, which makes your My Life super easy. So let me just show you. So using that PDF scan, this is what I actually typed or written out when we used to meet live, a long time ago. And so here, I just wrote it in pen and then scanned it in, and it comes in really nicely. Okay. You'll be submitting those every week, so you'll work through them to me. So in class, we'll be working through about two sections of what would be the book at a time, and then I will make homework for you, which you'll be doing also, and then you'll submit all of your notes as a notebook once a week as a PDF, and then you'll submit all your homework once a week as a PDF. Okay, so you can do a PDF scanner. Some of you have like tablets like I do. Some of you have other ways. If you guys, oh yes, someone's putting in suggestions how to do other stuff. There's lots of ways to fill out stuff on PDFs. So that's the only thing that I'm requiring that you have is you have an ACE account and you do this. Everything else I'll be providing. You can have a calculator. It's nice. Not necessary, since you can be working on a computer. Every time I want a calculator and I'm on a computer, I go to this website. It's called wolframalpha.com. And it literally does anything you want. So say I want to solve for x of x squared minus 3x plus 5 equals 0. And then it automatically reads and understands what you want. Unfortunately, this one came out to be awful. I'll solve for, it read it wrong. There it goes. Yeah. So this one has imaginary roots, but we'll get into that later. So you can just use Wolfram Alpha as a free calculator. It does everything. It'll do it. It does everything up to math like 433 when you have to take differential equations if you're going down the engineering route. Everyone in this class is in the engineering program, if I understand correctly, right? Well, at least, yeah, most people say yes. Great. All right, so that makes it easier for me to explain certain things from an engineering perspective, because I know what your track, what your track through the math, at least through the math is. Set up your notifications. This is notify me right away. This is just a way of just, when I communicate to you guys, I'm not going to usually communicate via email. I'm usually going to communicate via these announcements here. This is going to be our Zoom information until something goes wrong, and then I'll just replace it. If for any reason my internet's out, I'll just post a video of the notes. I'll just record me going through the notes and post them online to YouTube later. It's always good to have contingency plans. So if all of a sudden you just no, the Zoom call is not going, just assume you'll see the notes within later that day. I've had the internet go out like twice on my house for random reasons. Technical support, here's, if you have any problems, go ahead in this. This is the Canvas guide for students. Supplemental resources, you can go to Linda. Academic integrity, you're gonna hear a little spiel at before every single class. There's academic integrity policies. They're gonna tell you a lot of things. Some of them are more true than others. It's like, well, if you cheat, you're ruining the reputation of the school. Yeah, it's kind of true, but every school has cheaters, and so it's just part baked into the system. And it's like, well, if you, what was the other one? Oh, there's a lot of fun things they tell you. The reason why I suggest you don't cheat is because right now you're establishing habits. Like 90% of everything you do, and everyone's like, well, you make a lot of decisions every day. No, you pre-made a lot of decisions every day. You have habits that say, well, I usually say this, or when someone talks to you, you usually have a way of responding, right? And so you shouldn't get in a habit of not understanding the material that you were doing, not wanting to do it. If that makes any sense. So if you're cheating, it's because you don't want to study it and you don't really understand it. And you shouldn't be in the habit of doing something you don't understand and don't want to do. So that's why you shouldn't cheat. Yeah, it's morally wrong, but and then when you get to later classes, you won't know the basics, and then you'll be forced to do it. And it's just an awful downhill thing. And I've seen students go down, and it's just no way to live. University policies are saying you have a little icebreaker activity. So every day you'll have homework. This is your homework for the day. You're going to just make sure, get an ACE account, make sure you get that all figured out. And then you're just going to introduce yourself in this. Usually we do this live. Every time I do a class, the first class, it's always just live. It's like, hi, who are you? Why are you here? Meet your friends, right? But since we can't do that, we could, but I think, a lot of people have strange things going on, all this other stuff. Let me make sure I have no one wanting in. Nope, just the 15 of us, perfect. I'm not going to have you guys do that. Please use, so I'm probably just going to talk the most time. It's going to be kind of strange. But please go ahead and fill some of the stuff out. This is your homework for the day. It's worth homework points. I'll explain how the course will go in a second. So yeah, and then explore. All right, so let's go back down the list. This is a lot of help for students. This is just something the Office of Online Education. Hi, there's me. Yay. I teach math. Not important. Absolutely not important. I guess it's good to know who your professor is. I do research in nano-optics I do algorithmic research in nano-optics for finite difference time domains. That may mean probably 0 to everybody. Long story short is I simulate electromagnetic waves in a computer for very small objects, so I use Maxwell's equations to do that, and then I run stuff on a supercomputer and melt them. That's what I do. But we won't get into that. All right, so this is your syllabus. No one reads the syllabus, so I always go over it. This course is designed to get you prepared for calculus in the fall, so it's kind of a unique course. I pull topics from like a year worth of material. This is the department's webpage. This is my email. Always email me. I usually respond to emails once a day in the morning. But when you send it to me is when it counts. So if I don't respond, even though you say hi, if like Thursday night I can't submit my homework, and I'm like, I don't respond until like Friday afternoon, I will work with you to get it fixed and okay. All right. This is the same material. So the way this in class 15 week, this is not a 15-week course. This is a 5-week course. I need to fix that. The way that works out, since this is a pass fail, if I have trouble logging into, I'll answer that in a second. This is a pass fail course. So basically at the end of the term, I just report to the engineering department, you are ready for calculus or you're not. And so basically if you get over 70%, it'll result in a pass. I'll be happy to say you're ready. I do not think you need to take another test, but I'm not positive, right? Dr. Yingtao Yang is in charge of it. I'm just a teacher. But I'm pretty sure if you do that, you'll do that. So your notes, the notes are just the what we showed. So these, you'll just fill these out some way. That's worth 15%. We're going to be doing a lot of them. So that's 15%. Homework is worth 20%. Your homework is graded on completion. Okay. So We're gonna turn in the notes and homework every Friday morning. Okay. It's graded for completion. So if you don't understand something, we'll talk about it Friday after Friday. That'll be Friday's class. Is you just give me all the homework questions you guys had no clue about, and we'll go over that. And then there'll be a weekly quiz test. I don't know how you want to call it, weekly quiz or test. I'm going to make these I'll make these in Canvas, and then you'll just take them there. And if something goes wrong, just email me and I'll look at it and I can override scores. And then you'll have a final about 25%. So that's about how it's going to work. Course schedule is a different thing. Attendance policy. Attendance mandatory component will be taken daily. Every day I'll just check in who's here, who's not. Failure to complete discussions or show up to Zoom calls will result in a fail. You're allowed a max of 5 missed classes or discussions missed combined. So basically, if you miss over weeks with material, I'm just going to not suggest that you pass. Even if you did great, it's just because if you're not showing up, you're not going to do well in the future. And that's over 20% of missing. So it's a pretty high bar you have to pass for me to say, I don't feel good about it. So your attendance is basically is going to be show up for all 5 days. If you're sick or whatever, just go ahead and email me whatever reason, and I'll just click you on. So if you have like an event or a family thing, I'm not worried about it, but just keep me in the loop. Does that make sense? And then you won't get marked for it. All right, why is this thing being silly? Okay. Academic integrity, there's a long list of things here. Homework will be assigned each day. It's due the Friday before class. I will make the homework probably, I'll make some of your homework tonight since me and Dr. Jang decided to mix the book and mix the online homework. It's going to be kind of paper homework, kind of like the notes, which saves each of you guys $100 a piece. So it's just going to be that. Notebooks are due Friday before class. I'll show you how to show that, turn that in a second. It's just graded for completion. So work with your friends, try to get it done. There'll actually be a place for you guys to do that. Make a policy, document excuse done, do that. Testing will be done on Canvas. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. The only other thing I want to show you here is we have outside. So George Buck also chooses this course. I record all these lectures. So all these lectures are going to be recorded, and as long as I save them correctly, I will post them on YouTube, and then you'll see slowly as lectures come in, they post. So if you have to miss a day, just watch the lecture videos and watch me go through the notes, and then you can just, it won't really be all that different, to be honest, right? Let me see what questions you have. For people who have trouble logging in, for whatever those are, you need to contact IT, and they will help you. So for those who have trouble logging in, just go to, where is it? First steps. Just go to IT help desk. So you can just, well, I guess that's not going to help you guys. So just go to Google, type in UNLV IT help desk, and yeah, just call this number, and they will help you get logged in. They'll help you get everything you need to do in order to help your account. So if you have any problem logging in, even after you've been admitted into this course, they'll help you. Okay, they're way better than I am, and that's what they're trying to do, and they're available from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. Even during all this madness, they're still there. So okay, so that's how you do that. For those without access to the course right now, for those who do not have access to the course right now, I will just, when you ship me your NG number, I will just ship you all the files for the class. And you should have access within, you should have access by the end of the day or tomorrow at the latest, okay? All right. Okay, so that's the answer to those two questions. I did want to show you something. So in the syllabus, no, that's our schedule. We'll get to that in a second. In the syllabus, there's a link to George's stuff, and so you can just click right here. George Buck also does all this, and so after I do something, if it doesn't make super clear, George also goes through the same basic material in the same basic manner, right, for his class, and he's happy to let me. We share stuff, so getting info from a graph, right, and so it just teaches you how to go through each one of these. Okay, so if you need extra help, that's a good way to do it. If not, there's a lot of stuff online, and you guys seem to find it all the time. Okay. Um, a lot of these university policies you don't have to really worry about. If you're part of the DRC, you know who you are. I work with you. If you're missing a quiz for religious holidays, you're allowed to do that. That's fine. We use copyright and fair use requirements, so do that. Please email me from your Rebel account. So please email me from whatever your Rebel one is. It's not necessary, but especially since you guys are being first admitted, that's fine. One-on-one assistance through the Writing Center. I don't think that's going on right now. Incompletes, there is no incomplete for this class. It's just pass-fail. Final exam, it's just at the end of the course, okay? These are guidelines for courtesy and respect. Basically, come to class on time. Don't curse, don't be foul. Just simple stuff. A lot of this is for a classroom. We just don't have that, so just respond to the chats when I ask questions, and it'll be good. All right. For the summer, so here's our summer schedule. So it's a kind of a busy schedule, and I do want to go over it with you. Okay. So, so today we're just doing introductions because I don't assume you print it out or have the PDFs ready to write on. Because I want you guys to kind of follow me along, and then I'm going to kind of every now and then I'm going to stop for a brief moment and have you guys actually try one before I do it, because that will help you to learn the material better. Right? I've studied a lot of stuff about learning and teaching and all this other stuff. I'm like a lot of math professors. Long story short, in order to be a math professor, all you have to do is get a degree in math. They teach you nothing about teaching. So some of them know how to teach, some of them don't. Hopefully I'm on the more no side. But when we go over this, we're going to do about 2 sections a time. That's plenty of, we'll actually have plenty of time to do that. So we may not use the entire class period every time. And I may use that to do a little bit of catch up because I'm skipping some sections. But though that material won't be required, it'll just be for your information material. So we do about 2 sections a day. Friday, your notebooks are going to be due. We're going to do a question, and after we're done with the question session, I'll publish the test, and then you just take the test or the quiz or whatever. They're going to be about, guessing 10 to 20 questions depending on the week. Let me show you what those look like. I don't have one built yet, but let me show you what one of the old ones look like. Perfect. Hi, let's load it. Let's go to quizzes. Here we are, quizzes. Oh, here's like the last final, right? Or here's a practice final. So we'll just preview. They'll just look like this. You do this, and then here, like find the domain. You just click on the domain. None of these, and you just go ahead and answer these. Some of these will be short answer. Then you just type in this, and then you hit, when you're all done, you'll hit submit. I didn't get the right answers. And then you'll see this, right? And then it'll say incorrect. That was supposed to be something different. Incorrect, incorrect, and it'll tell you what the answer is. So partial. And so I got one of the 3 right. So it's just, that's how we'll take it. And then if it says that you did something wrong, and it is correct, it's just the system didn't take it, just email me and I'll look at it and fix it. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. I got that message. All right. So that's how these are going to look. They're only going to be like probably 10 questions a time. And it'll just be over the material. It'll be exactly like the homework I give you, and the homework's going to be exactly like the notes, and so it'll be 0 surprises, right? Absolutely 0 surprises. So if you want to know what to study for the exam or the test every week, it's literally, I'm going to take what I type up for literally what I type in for the homework will be what you get for um, the exam. Okay. Any, hold on, let me finish the syllabus real quick, and then I'll ask for questions, and then we'll go from there. So that's what we're going to do. So the way the class works is usually we'll teach 4 days. You'll have homework each of these days. And then you'll turn in your notebooks. You'll turn in your homework. And then Friday will just be kind of like a review question. You ask me any questions you want. And we'll just go over them in detail. And so we can clean up anything you don't understand. And then I'll open up a test and you'll take a test. And then you have the weekends off, right? You won't have anything to do for the weekends. It's designed to be that way you don't have to worry over the weekend. And then, so the first ones we're going to do is functions, just do basic functions. Then we're going to do, the first week's a little easier compared to the rest of the weeks, just in terms of material. Next week, we'll do complex numbers, polynomials, and rational functions. Basically, we'll go over, basically this is lines, quadratics, larger than quadratics. We'll do complex numbers, and then complex numbers with in solving quadratics, and then we'll do rational functions. So that's that, and then we'll turn that in. We'll do logs and begin trig functions, and so this will get us ready for, this is all the log material. This is 4 sections, but the way the book does it is just absolutely terrible, so I'm gonna just rewrite it all to be like 2 sections. Because it says let's do angles to do trig functions, and it says let's do triangles to do trig functions. Like, okay, we could just do this all at once, right? And so we're gonna just do it all at once. And then we'll do trig. We'll have a week of trig. We won't get into really solving trig equations too terribly because that's not necessary for calculus. And it is useful to have, it's just not super necessary for calculus. And then we'll do vectors, polar numbers, sequence, and series. And that's only going to be 3 days. That way we can have 2 days of review before you take your final exam. The final exam will be commutative. Okay. All right. So here's all the notes. So you can just click on these, download them, print them, or download them and have them on your tablet or however you want to fill it out. I've seen people do it on their phones, amazingly enough. So whatever you want to do, every week there'll be an overview, and it tells you what to do. Come to all Zoom classes. Please post this. This is your day 1 homework. This is homework, not a discussion, right? Figure out how to turn in your notebook in preparation for Tuesday. So that's also your homework, right? And then you're gonna have, so when you do, I haven't posted the homework yet, so you'll see that first starting tomorrow. You're gonna see one of these, and then once a week you just need to participate. That's it. You get 10 points for participating. So this is part of your attendance, right? Just, it's like, hey, I had a question on such and such on the homework. Does anyone help me? And if you help them, or, you know, I found this video over this material to be good. I don't care what it is, as long as you post once, you're going to get credit for it. Okay. I literally don't care what it is. I just want you to be active in it. If you post a lot of times, that's great, right? But I want, this is a place for you guys to communicate with each other. Okay. I'll look through it from time to time, but I won't be too worried about it because most of your final questions I'll deal with. You can ask me at the beginning of the class, or have me to do it before that. To submit your notebook, you're just going to click right here. So your notebook's worth 20 points, and then you just submit it. You'll upload a file. So you just upload a file, and then I'll see it's there and look over it and give you a grade. Same thing for the homework. You can upload a file. Okay, and then there'll be a test, and so every week you'll see one of these. There'll also be, you can turn in your notebook here. Here's the discussion board for the homework questions, and here's the homework. And I'll post the homeworks right after. I'll probably combine them into each day, and then you'll see, like, you know, 2.1, 2.2 homework, and they'll be posted just right below there once I finish it. Same for here, and then the exam will be posted at the bottom. Okay. All right. So that's basically everything how this class will run. The first class will be kind of short. We won't go to 11 because I just need you guys to get, I need to get your ACE account up. I need you to get these notes written. I need you to practice just practice. Before we even start tomorrow, practice kind of writing on the notes. That way you get used to it. Because I'm going to go maybe a little slower than I would in class, just because it's a little bit more tedious because usually they have them, usually my students will have them print them out and they just write on it with pencils or pens, but I'll go a little bit more slower knowing that you're using alternative methods to do this. But are there any questions? Any questions for me for any of this? No. Is anyone concerned about writing on the notes? Everyone probably has a smartphone, and so that usually solves 90% of problems. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I know it says, do you know? Oh, sorry. So for those who are, let me just respond to this privately. For those who, this course is designed to get you into calculus, and so it actually doesn't matter what you're taking at the end of the day, right? As long as you have to take calculus, this course is designed to help you just get into calculus and skip that. If you're in an engineering program or any science or STEM, any STEM program, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, if you're doing any of those fields, if you start at 126 or 127, which is the material we're trying to pass you for, just because you started calculus, you have to go so far into your math that you're going to cover your requirements for your math course long before you finish the math courses you need to take. And so this is just here to save you about a year's worth of time. A year or half year's worth of time and a lot of money, right? Because this is free to you, and so you don't have to pay tuition on it. You don't have to buy books. You don't have to do anything, and I've designed everything specifically to keep in the spirit of keeping it free to you and easy to do, and just get you ready for calculus and just get you going from there. Okay. Here's a good one. If you end up bombing the course, which happens, right? Who knows? You might get corona and be sick and gone, right? If you end up bombing the course, does it affect your GPA or scholarship? No, this is actually a non-accredited course, and it actually does not appear on your records as far as I understand. Because technically, nobody's admitted into this course, and it's just paid through a grant. And so basically, it's a way of saving you tons of money and tons of time. And you don't get a grade for this class. You just get, basically, I'll report in at the end of the course. I report in, do I think you're ready for calculus? That's the only thing I'm really reporting to the engineering department. And if I say so, they kind of waive the requirements that you weren't allowed into calculus before. That's my understanding of it. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes down. I'm not positive if you have to retake the Alex text. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think my word trumps that, and they just sign you through. Okay. So no, you don't get credit for this class, but it saves you lots of money and lots of time. And with everything else, what else are you going to do but invest in yourself? So it's a great time to do it. One thing I do suggest you do, I haven't talked about this yet, is get into the habit, get into good study habits. And so I would just, even though this class is between 9:40 to 11:10, we may end a little bit earlier than 11:10 some days, just depending on the material and how far we have to go and the questions you have. And then I'll give you guys the homework to work on. But when you're get into a point, it's like, if you want to have a break after class, I get it. But I would probably get your homework done before like 5, And that way you can just relax the rest of the day. It's a good time to build really good study habits, because that will carry you through school. One thing, one thing is not intelligence, which predicts success. It's grit. Grit, just ability just to keep going and keep doing stuff you just don't want to do. Um, and like conscientiousness is a personality trait. You know, how well are you good at monitoring doing these things? These are very important things for you to succeed in life. And so that tends to trump any skill, right? And if you need more practice, there's always more practice. Okay. Are we allowed to? Are you allowed to work ahead? Yeah, that'd be fine. I will try to get stuff. Honestly, I'll be dead honest with you. I thought this class started next week because that's what it told me. um, and then the engineering department wanted it earlier, so that's what we do. But so I will try to get stuff ahead of time, and you're welcome to work on it. I will post later. I'll continue to work on this, and so I'll probably post week 2 and maybe week 3 stuff all ready to go. That way you can just go through stuff and do all this stuff, and then I do expect you to come to class. But I'll try to get. I'm going to try to build. I'm going to try to build everything a week out. That way you can kind of work on stuff if you want, especially if you know you have something coming up. Let me just show you something quick. So yeah, so if you want to work ahead, that's fine. Just make sure that you participate in the class. That's the only real caveat. Yeah, because see the little dates they gave me. They said it was from June 9th to June 10th when it's naturally supposed to be. So it was a little surprise. I found out 2 days ago I was teaching this a little sooner, which is fine. I'm flexible. That's the one thing. Being flexible is super useful. So I got the notes all built for you. I'm going to get more notes built for you and get more stuff ready up. And then I'm going to finish week 1 before I start posting stuff for week 2. And then I'll get week 2 and stuff. I'm going to try to be ahead for those who want to be ahead. All right. What else we got here? Yep. Yeah. And that, I think I just need to let you guys, I think that's it. Any more questions before we go for the day? It's going to be, I know we're getting out like a half hour early, which is fine. I just need you guys to go and prepare everything for the class. Does that make sense? That way when we start tomorrow, we can just start doing 2 sections at a time, doing everything. For some of those, you said we have done this before. Yeah, you've probably seen most of this stuff before, and that's okay. I'm going to teach it. Let me see how I can say this correctly. I'm going to teach it as if you had not seen it before, for the mere purpose that some of you will be really comfortable with some of this stuff, and then you're going to not be comfortable with some of the other stuff, and then the next section we go to, that the students who are comfortable will switch, right? Just so it's everywhere. So I'm going to always kind of teach it as if you've never seen it before, even though the engineering department says you probably have. Okay. All right, guys. I think that's it for day 1. We'll get started with the notes. We'll get started with the actual teaching part tomorrow. I wanted to give you guys a day to prepare. Okay. Okay. So is there anything else that you guys want to talk about, or are we good to go? I think we're good. All right, guys. Well, get your ACE account, get online, do this, introduce yourself today. That's your today's homework. And it counts for homework. It doesn't count as discussion. It actually counts for homework grade points. At any point you want to see your grades, you can always just click here. Everyone should have no grades, so I'm not worried about it. But you can always just click here and it'll show your grades, okay? And everything's already weighted the way it's supposed to be weighted, and so whatever it says at the end is pretty good. And so if you ever want to know you're standing in class, just click there and you instantly know it. Okay. All right, guys. For tonight's homework, you just click. Yep. Yep. You just go here. You just click reply, and then you type in hi and whatever, and you just hit post reply, and that's it. There you go. And I can delete my entry. Bye-bye. That's all you need to do. Okay. All right. And just put those things on. That way I can kind of know who you guys are. That will help me to, when I think of examples or think of real world examples, when I try to relate math to the real world for 5 minutes, it helps me to make those examples and know who you are. Knowing who you are helps me to teach you better. And I always kind of look off screen because my sharing screen is my second screen. Okay. All right, guys. Have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow at 9:40. Okay. And we'll just start it. Okay. Take care. Bye. All right. Let's go ahead and stop the screen share and then we'll go ahead and hit end.